to Mega Man's Final Destination as the special Japanese version.
Yes,
that we all love.
I have loved that stage. I've been watching so much recently. The Japanese Smash community, they've been getting a much more popular because the online and offline is much like easier to accommodate in Japan, just with the different restrictions as well as the closer proximity for online play. And
they have a 3 per capita case rate. Okay, don't get me wrong, and they're
Yeah.
very, very culturally inclined toward maintaining that. Unlike in the U.S.
Yes, and like just because of that though, like you're gonna see lots of really nice play, and just all the players they're playing the cool Mega Man stage for Final Destination. They've got the nice music, the static background. There's just so much good about it, and it just aesthetically is just amazing. I love that stage.
Looks like we got some chat. Oh, he is going to play, yeah, so he looks like he's going to switch it to Omega. I'm wondering if he's going to switch it to the right Omega.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really do. I've never played a Mega Man game. Oh wow, Samus. So Isabelle versus Samus. I think we've seen this from Phil and Solidus a couple times on stream.
Yeah.
What we'll see, like, depending on how Jess plays this matchup. Oh wow, we're doing Heroes Final Destination style. And the interesting thing about this stage, or this
looks like
this
they probably had
character
an
matchup-
accident on this, so it looks like they're going to go to a different stage.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Random Omega. One of them must have selected Random Omega, I think. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe they they either wanted a specific Final Destination or they did not mean at all to go Final Destination, and one of them happened to pick that stage. But yeah, one of the things you will see out of this matchup is that just depending on how he plays, if he's using most of the projectile tools from Samus, you're going to be seeing Isabelle hopefully go for a lot of those pockets with that neutral B. And especially with Charge Shot, that can be really devastating because it's the most damaging projectile in the game at fully charged, with doing, I think, 40 damage. And since projectiles, when reflected, do double that, you can only imagine how much damage and knockback that will do when it hits.
All right, so we also got another quick update. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick. Horns Up taking a victory against Swag Flew just a second ago, and we're going to get them on stream next against Solidus Hedgehog.
Wow.
And that puts us in a space to have some things happen over here on Losers with Swag Flew taking on Dank Link. And we're waiting for the remainder of these matches and winners to get finished in order to supply some of our Losers matches. All right, let's hop over to full game. I know the guys are ready to get started.
All right, so we're going regular Final Destination. I think one of them just did not want to play on that stage. I know from
Regular Final Destination.
Yeah.
I guess in that particular Final Destination, there isn't that much a difference. I mean, they still have that circular, rounded sort of edge, unlike some other notorious Omegas.
Yeah, I know in this game.
Pac-Land?
It's funny. Is Pac-Land in this game?
Pac-Land, I think, is.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought it was.
you're right. I know. Interestingly enough, almost every FD in this game is supposed to be the same shape. Like, but they're not. Yeah, when you say that,
Nice
you're very
spell.
right in that there are ones that aren't the same. And
I mean, Dreamland Game Boy is in this game too, and that's banned for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, completely different. And it's interesting because one of the reasons why they choose the Mega Man stage over this stage in Japan is just because the background for some players is just very distracting. And so I know in the US it's not very much talked about, or people just maybe don't care. They'd rather just get right into the game or whatever. But it does affect players. And the same thing can be said about the Hero version of the stage, that Omega stage. And that whale that comes through, as well as the background just moving, can cause some motion sickness. But from Phil, we're seeing an SD, although he already got the stock off, but no extra credit, so it's still pretty even.
Yeah. Back to the old Smash 4 style, I think it is.
Yeah.
I like those get-ups that Isabelle's doing too, and that was a nice punish with the Lloyd trap setup that Samus had thrown with the super missile. So,
Yeah.
oh, pocketed super. Misses the charge beam.
Yeah.
And
Interestingly enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. We saw Isabelle get hit with a super missile, but then she threw out her super that she had pocketed earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. See how they just pocketed it?
Charge shot.
Interesting, as risky as it looks to pocket those, because it is a pretty large projectile coming at you pretty quick. You actually have along with like you being able to grab the projectile, you have 4 frames of complete invincibility when you do that. So sometimes players, if they're tricky enough with it, will use it as almost like a counter, and players will try to hit you, and since if you time it right, you actually will not get hit by any move, regardless of whether it's a projectile or not, because you get those invincibility frames. And while it is risky, the reward, if you already have like a projectile, like the Samus charge shot, you can end matches really quickly.
Nice. That was a nice telegraph.
Yeah.
Trying to get the tether with the fishing pole and gets charge shot in the face.
What a turnaround though. Like look at the percent now that Phil has on him. Like compared to earlier in this game where he had a pretty decent percent lead, and I believe it's stock. But it's going down to the wire, I'd say.
Uh-oh, super missile gets pocketed.
Yeah.
Gets thrown out.
Ooh,
charge beam from the back.
Now,
another super.
Not sure what percent they'll kill Isabelle. She is rather light, and Phil does have range.
She's like, this is relative kill percent.
Yeah. Oh.
And gets fully charge beam to the face.
And as you say it too, you literally called it. Commentating is curse. She's almost dead. There she goes, getting knocked off stage.
Phil would not call it a curse though.
Oh yeah, no.
Phil feels pretty good about that call out.
This is surprisingly the best use of charge beam I have seen in any iteration of Samus.
Yeah.
Charge beam's the most useless thing in the source game.
I didn't know that.
I mean, most every runner skips over charge beam, only picking it up just for marginal things.
Yeah.
In Zero Mission, it grants you a mini screw attack when you're fully charged.
Interesting. You said that they do that in speedruns?
Yeah, most speedruns. The low percent, it's not required to beat the game.
Okay.
It doesn't grant you any damage like any other beam attachment.
Interesting.
All it does is just the charge beam. And yeah, Zero Mission's my favorite Metroid game.
I need to play a Metroid game. I feel like my appreciation for characters like Master Chief and Doom Guy would put me in perfect standing with Samus. I love super-powered armor characters.
They would definitely be some gun-heavy characters, that's for sure.
I held Zero Mission in very high regard from a game design standpoint. I think Zero Mission's it's up there in terms of the best design game ever. AM2R actually follows close.
Wow. What would you say we need to see from PJ in this upcoming game?
What I need to see from an Isabelle player is, I think I'm inclined to say that Samus's bulkiness is something that would warrant a character switch from Isabelle, but they end up going in this anyway without any switches. So from a strategic standpoint, I wanted to see better spacing from Samus and defense from Samus's super missile and charge beam setup.
For sure. I think that one thing that I don't know if PJ is aware of this, but with a fully charged like neutral B from Samus, you can actually use Isabelle's down B as a wall.
Pocketed neutral.
As long as Phil shoots the charge shot like while standing on the ground, the ball will hit the Isabelle mine and not like go through it. It'll just break. It like will not hit Isabelle. So I think that on top of that, as a mix-up even to try and not pocket the charge shot, it will work really well in his favor.
And then priority is also a thing too.
That's so true.
I believe recalling that I think Isabelle's pocketed shot does have priority over Samus's over a shot that Samus shoots.
Yes. Oh, nice up smash.
Up smash.
That was actually crazy how far that reached.
It's ridiculous how far range that the stop sign actually, the hitbox actually spreads.
Yeah, it did get buffed a couple, like more than 4 patches ago now, but like even then visually, it's hard to realize that it does have distance even if it doesn't look like it, you know? But what we're seeing from PJ here is nowhere to run. Just getting hit off the side, getting edge guarded horizontally. Something that I think Isabelle just kind of excels at. It's one of the few things that Isabelle has pretty decent prowess in. With a mix of those nairs as well as those fishing rod and bearers that are just so far hitting and have such decent frame data.
Yes.
Possible 3-stock for PJ if he's able to keep up this damage.
Oi.
Which he is.
Unfortunately, I do not have the.
That's just as you're saying that too.
Yeah, so I don't have
Gets
to explain
taken
why we
down.
can't play the music. So.
Yeah.
Did you get?
I did not get DMCA'd for
suspicious
that.
thing
No.
that
No, funny
suspicious
enough.
reason that we probably can't discuss on stream.
No. My scene switcher is there right now, so that's the only reason why I can't play queued up music like that. So everything's
okay.
good, nothing's bad, everybody.
You could hire a composer to compose some custom loops for that.
Hire an orchestra.
Chicago Symphony's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to get some donations for that.
Please subscribe.
8:57 p.m. right now.
Alright, final stock. Similar situation, but as I say, anything.
Just end it. Just end it. That's what PJ
Yeah.
said. There's your
No.
commentary.
Relying on the
Go ahead, end it.
Relying on the iframes just for that safety net.
Yeah.
All right, so what happened here? We had
I
a
think-
fishing.
Yeah.
We know that the fishing net tethered. There's the buffer.
That was a good cross up. So that
Yeah, but
dash
then
attack went right through shield.
oh, the punish.
Yeah.
The punish by trying to throw out the side special.
Yeah. Maybe caught Phil in some
Very long
habits.
startup time. I think it was a super that that Samus was trying to throw out too. So that is a very, very, very long startup time.
Yep, right on time on that one. And as we are over our donation goal for Janae Benet this week, want to just give everybody a quick reminder that we are celebrating Black history through Black entrepreneurs in the video game industry. All donations this week are going directly to these organizations and their owners. This week, just as a quick reminder, everybody, we are celebrating Janae Benet, the owner of Curls and Controllers. She's also a video game content creator right here on twitch.tv at Janae Benet. And also, make sure she covers your live esport event as well. And it looks like we got a selection for stage, guys. Looks like they're going to Pokemon Stadium 2, so let's go ahead and hop right into the action.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alrighty, my favorite stage.
Poke Stadium 2, biggest stage on the selection list. So I honestly do think that Isabelle I actually do believe that this would be more favorable towards Samus thanks to the larger stage size.
And you would be right.
Last time on Small Battlefield, I think Isabelle flourished really, really well in that very cramped setup.
Yeah, I think that Isabelle kind of, just because of the lower platforms as well, it's easier to get those ledge traps because you can put the down B down on the ledge, have them roll in, and you can catch them on ledge with the fishing pole either at the front of it or the backside. And you can get real creative with it, as well as just seeing Phil also be able to be more aggressive, or PJ, excuse me, be more aggressive by capturing the charge shots and missiles and then approaching with them and shooting them point blank at Phil. Whereas in this match, we're seeing pretty substantial damage coming out from Phil, keeping himself below the 100% mark as PJ keeps getting that damage chipped away at him and unable to keep Phil on one side of the map. However, PJ does have that neutral advantage, keeping himself dead center, making Phil really stay to one side and having to jump over to get to the other.
I think you rolled out of the up smash.
Yeah.
Rolled out of the up. But yeah, I think the biggest benefit that Samus has on a stage like Poké Stadium 2 is the fact that Samus as a character has much more mobility on the stage. You had you had small battlefield where a lot of Isabelle's zone control techniques are in too small a space for Samus to deal with, and so that's one of the major factors that contributed to losing game 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also with this stage, you're going to be seeing the fact that Samus on this stage just has more room to circle camp in a way. Like, because traditional circle camping is more done by faster characters, since you can kind of just run around a slower or heavier character and just hit them a couple times and continually circle them. Whereas with Samus and how Phil's playing right now is that Phil is essentially creating a wall on whatever side he has more space to roll back on.
Not quite true, Mike. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Samus also, on this map, something that we haven't talked about yet.
Decent Lloyd trap.
Samus is heavier than Ridley even. They're a very heavy character, and it's much harder to kill a character like Samus with a box that's as large as Pokemon Stadiums compared to small battlefields, which is about the same size as Battlefield and FBs, I believe, at their smallest. So it has the vertical ceiling of Final Destination, but the horizontal box of Battlefield, which combined it makes a very small zone, whereas this is just super large. And however, we are seeing PJ make his way back into this. Hasn't taken the percent lead yet, but it's getting close. Phil's getting a bit antsier every stock it seems to get this kill.
You're noticing quite a bit too. Isabelle's throwing the fishing pole out the same time that Samus does neutral special out. Right back there, we did see him failed roll.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why PJ isn't doing down throw fishing pole. So now we see up throw. Nice.
Throw.
Really good ledge trap there. I think he had the Lloyd out so that Phil couldn't get roll from ledge, because often you'll see Phil roll past PJ. And that was a great back air, keeping himself in the game here. However, lost percent lead. PJ now can be a bit more passive and just protect himself with Phil's own projectiles.
Wow.
Getting really close. Phil kind of countering that grab with his own projectile
Pockets the single shot.
Oh, we might see a charge shot come out here. I can see Phil's getting ready to set it up. The patience, though.
There's no punish from follow through from that up smash, but the charge shot does land.
Yeah, I think his best attribute is just this conditioning, is that Phil really is good at, like, making you guess when he's going to throw out that projectile, because he just throws out so many missiles, right? And then all of a sudden he runs up to you and tries to go for that smash attack or a grab or a dash attack.
Oh, the pocket.
Nice.
It misses and he gets dashed attacked.
Phil, I think Phil deserved that win at the end with that conditioning. As somebody who does play like a pretty projectile-centric character myself, something that I think that every projectile character needs is good mix-ups and good conditioning. And what conditioning was for Phil in this was using lots of projectiles that weren't charge shot this game. I think that's kind of what bit him in the last game, and you recognize that. And as we see here, instead of using the fully charged shot, he uses the stressor of just having it charged up as a bait option to make Phil waste that neutral special in order to pocket it. And then he ran in for that dash attack. Really smart stuff coming from Phil.
Yeah, nice mix. It was a very nice mix-up too. I mean, a lot of what Samus relies upon. Most of Samus's finishers, unfortunately, rely onto that single. They basically all converge into that single point with the charge shot. So being able to mix that up a bit is one of the biggest talents that Phil has to take this set.
Yeah, I think it's also true. You have to mention this is that in patch 9.0 or 8.1, excuse me, Samus and Dark Samus both received a dash attack and up throw patch that made their damage and knockback much higher than they were before, making them actual kill moves instead of just like throwaways essentially. And it was good of Phil to recognize that he could take out that last stock at the percent he was at instead of waiting much longer or going for another charge shot. And so because he was able to take advantage of that new